Good now. I am about to go live on Insight Timer. Thank you for being here if you're watching from another platform. If you would like to join in the conversation live, I will try to check messages here, but I will mostly be engaging on the Insight Timer platform because that's where most of the comments will be coming from. But we are reading the book Letting Go by Dr. David R. Hawkins. We are starting chapter 2 today. So I hope you're looking forward to it, and I will see you as we go through. Good now. I am not seeing, there they are. I was like, I'm not seeing the bubbles. Good now, Justin, Helen, Donna, Belinda. April. I was like, it's on the tip of my tongue. April. Good now, April. Good now, loves. Are y'all ready for chapter 2 of Letting Go? Caitlin, good now, love. Helen, the book that you can't see the chat, mine did that the other day. And I left and came back, and it still was acting silly when I went in someone else's live. Helen, the book that we are reading for the current class that I'm in, I read something last night. I was like, I want to read this whole passage to Helen because it would answer better than I could exactly what transcendental meditation is. So I was like, I could read it if you're on next Friday's Free Flow Friday. I can read it. It's a short passage, but it was good. I was like, this is definitely this is why he's the PhD. I'm working on it, but it's been all over the place lately. The app being a mess. Is that what you're talking about, Caitlin? So in case y'all are wondering, I have y'all on this screen. Just seeing what makes it easier. This screen is bigger, but this screen is the one that has the camera. Use IT on your phone, but does everyone else use phone or computer? I only ask because I have the same problem as comments disappearing. Usually on the phone. Yeah, I have not experienced that from the computer, I don't think. Good now, Anisha. Good now, Rhonda. Who else has popped in? And anyone else in private mode? I love these fluffy clouds. Bon. I just love those clouds. All right. Use the phone sometimes iPad having issues. Good now, love. Yeah. I know Jennifer said the other day in one of the lives that she popped in to the more people that message the help on Insight Timer, maybe it'll be addressed more quickly. It may have who knows how the queue is set up for the help desk stuff. So all right, good now. I believe everyone was here last week. Good now, loves. Caitlin says, Anisha. Welcome and welcome back. We are reading the book Letting Go, The Path to Surrender by Dr. David R. Hawkins. And we completed introduction preface in chapter 1 last week. And it was just kind of giving you an idea of where we were going with this book. Cass says, first time here, I don't have the book, but I'm interested. Just said you had previous IT with Stephanie. Saw you. I was like, you said I had a previous? You saw me on Steph's. Okay, got it. The first week is, so these are recorded. So you'll see, if you want to check out the first week, chapter 1 and all that, you're welcome to do that so you can see what this is all about. But I think we're starting to get into the meat, so you haven't missed too much. And happy that you're here. Welcome. Helen, who else has popped in? Elena, good now, love. All right, so Just a quick disclaimer, I am not a licensed mental health professional. This book can call you out to yourself. So if anything becomes too much, please either step away or put it in the chat because we got you. If something becomes too much, but just do what you can to take care of yourself. That's what's most important. I do help people with trauma and things like that, but I'm not a licensed professional. It's just that my work we end up digging into that a little bit by what we do. You just ordered Healing the Shame book. Can't wait. Ooh. Good now, Robin. Good now, radical readers. I love it. Does this count as me reading 10 pages a day? It can. The chapter is more than 10 pages. But you are the boss of you, Justin. Good now, good now, good now. I love it. Do we have 2 Elenas? How cool is that? All right, so that's funny. I didn't even pull up my Audible app. I just had the music going. All right. Are y'all ready for chapter 2? Let us get started. I should have put lettuce in the little intro thingy. All right. We are heading to chapter 2. Get your listen ears on. Let us start. I love it. Thank y'all for getting your lettuce out. And let us begin. Yes. Okay. Let me know if it's loud enough.
Chapter 2. The mechanism of letting go. What is it? Letting go is like the sudden cessation of an inner pressure or the dropping of a weight. It is accompanied by a sudden feeling of relief and lightness, with an increased happiness and freedom. It is an actual mechanism of the mind, and everyone has experienced it on occasion. A good example is the following. You are in the midst of an intense argument. You are angry and upset, when suddenly the whole thing strikes you as absurd and ridiculous. You start to laugh. The pressure is relieved. You come up from anger, fear, and feeling attacked to feeling suddenly free and happy. Think how great it would be if you could do that all the time, in any place and with any event. You could always feel free and happy and never be cornered by your feelings again. That's what this technique is all about. Letting go consciously and frequently at will. You are then in charge of how you feel, and you are no longer at the mercy of the world and your reactions to it. You are no longer the victim. This is employing the basic teaching of the Buddha, which removes the pressure of involuntary reactivity. We carry around with us a huge reservoir of accumulated negative feelings, attitudes, and beliefs. The accumulated pressure makes us miserable and is the basis of many of our illnesses and problems. We are resigned to it and explain it away as the human condition. We seek to escape from it in myriad ways. The average human life is spent trying to avoid and run from the inner turmoil of fear and the threat of misery. Everyone's self-esteem is constantly threatened, both from within and without. If we take a close look at human life, we see that it is essentially one long, elaborate struggle to escape our inner fears and expectations that have been projected upon the world. Interspersed are periods of celebration when we have momentarily escaped the inner fears, but the fears are still there waiting for us. We have become afraid of our inner feelings because they hold such a massive amount of negativity that we fear we would be overwhelmed by it if we were to take a deeper look. We have a fear of these feelings because we have no conscious mechanism by which to handle the feelings if we let them come up within ourselves. Because we are afraid to face them, they continue to accumulate, and finally, we secretly begin looking forward to death to bring all of the pain to an end. It is not thoughts or facts that are painful, but the feelings that accompany them. Thoughts, in and of themselves, are painless, but not the feelings that underlie them. It is the accumulated pressure of feelings that causes thoughts. One feeling, for instance, can create literally thousands of thoughts over a period of time. Think, for instance, of one painful memory from early life, one terrible regret that has been hidden. Look at all the years and years of thoughts associated with that single event. If we could surrender the underlying painful feeling, all of those thoughts would disappear instantly, and we would forget the event. This observation is in accord with scientific research. The Gray-LaViolette scientific theory integrates psychology and neurophysiology. Their research demonstrated that feeling tones organize thoughts and memory. Gray-LaViolette, 1981. Thoughts are filed in the memory bank according to the various shades of feelings associated with those thoughts. Therefore, when we relinquish or let go of a feeling, we are freeing ourselves from all of the associated thoughts. The great value of knowing how to surrender is that any and all feelings can be let go of at any time and any place in an instant, and it can be done continuously and effortlessly. What is the surrendered state? It means to be free of negative feelings in a given area so that creativity and spontaneity can manifest without opposition or the interference of inner conflicts. To be free of inner conflict and expectations is to give others in our life the greatest freedom. It allows us to experience the basic nature of the universe, which, it will be discovered, is to manifest the greatest good possible in a situation. This may sound philosophical, but when done, it is experientially true. Feelings and mental mechanisms. We have three major ways of handling feelings: suppression, expression, and escape. We will discuss each in turn. 1. Suppression and repression. These are the most common ways in which we push feelings down and put them aside. In repression, this happens unconsciously. In suppression, it happens consciously. We don't want to be bothered by feelings, and besides, we don't know what else to do with them. We sort of suffer through them and try to keep functioning as best as we can. The feelings that we select to be suppressed or repressed are in accord with the conscious and unconscious programs that we carry within us from social custom and family training. The pressure of suppressed feelings is later felt as irritability, mood swings, tension in the muscles of the neck and back, headaches, cramps, menstrual disorders, colitis, indigestion, insomnia, hypertension, allergies, and other somatic conditions. When we repress a feeling, it is because there is so much guilt and fear over the feeling that it is not even consciously felt at all. It becomes instantly thrust into the unconscious as soon as it threatens to emerge. The repressed feeling is then handled in a variety of ways to ensure that it stays repressed and out of awareness. Of these mechanisms used by the mind to keep the feeling repressed, denial and projection are perhaps the best known methods, as they tend to go together and reinforce each other. Denial results in major emotional and maturational blocks. It is usually accompanied by the mechanism of projection. Because of guilt and fear, we repress the impulse or feeling, and we deny its presence within us. Instead of feeling it, we project it onto the world and those around us. We experience the feeling as if it belonged to them. They then become the enemy, and the mind searches for and finds justification to reinforce the projection. Blame is placed on people, places, institutions, food, climatic conditions, astrological events, social conditions, fate, God, luck, the devil, foreigners, ethnic groups, political rivals, and other things outside of ourselves. Projection is the main mechanism in use by the world today. It accounts for all wars, strife, and civil disorder. Hating the enemy is even encouraged in order to become a good citizen. We maintain our own self-esteem at the expense of others, and eventually this results in social breakdown. The mechanism of projection underlies all attack, violence, aggression, and every form of social destruction. 2. Expression. With this mechanism, the feeling is vented, verbalized, or stated in body language and acted out in endless group demonstrations. The expression of negative feelings allows just enough of the inner pressure to be let out so that the remainder can then be suppressed. This is a very important point to understand, for many people in society today believe that expressing their feelings frees them from the feelings. The facts are to the contrary. The expression of a feeling, first, tends to propagate that feeling and give it greater energy. Second, the expression of the feeling merely allows the remainder to be suppressed out of awareness. The balance between suppression and expression varies in each individual depending on early training, current cultural norms and mores, and the media. Expressing oneself is now in vogue as a result of a misunderstanding of the work of Sigmund Freud and psychoanalysis. Freud pointed out that suppression was the cause of neurosis. Therefore, expression was mistakenly thought to be the cure. This misinterpretation became a license for self-indulgence at the cost of others. What Freud actually said in classical psychoanalysis was that the repressed impulse or feeling was to be neutralized, sublimated, socialized, and channeled into constructive drives of love, work, and creativity. If we dump our negative feelings on others, they experience it as an attack, and they, in turn, are forced to suppress, express, or escape the feelings. Therefore, the expression of negativity results in the deterioration and destruction of relationships. A far better alternative is to take responsibility for our own feelings and neutralize them. Then, only positive feelings remain to be expressed. 3. Escape. Escape is the avoidance of feelings through diversion. This avoidance is the backbone of the entertainment and liquor industries, and also the root of the workaholic. Escapism and avoidance of inner awareness is a socially condoned mechanism. We can avoid our own inner selves and keep our feelings from emerging by an endless variety of pursuits, many of which eventually become addictions as our dependency upon them grows. People are desperate to stay unconscious. We observe how often people flick on the television set the minute they enter a room, and then walk around in a dreamlike state, constantly being programmed by the data poured into them. People are terrified of facing themselves. They dread even a moment of aloneness. Thus, the constant, frantic activities, the endless socializing, talking, texting, reading, music playing, working, traveling, sightseeing, shopping, overeating, gambling, movie-going, pill-taking, drug-using, and cocktail partying. Many of the foregoing mechanisms of escape are faulty, stressful, and ineffective. Each of them requires increasing amounts of energy in and of itself. Enormous amounts of energy are required to keep down the growing pressure of the suppressed and repressed feelings. There is a progressive loss of awareness and an arrest of growth. There is a loss of creativity, energy, and real interest in others. There is a halting of spiritual growth and eventually the development of physical and emotional illness, disease, aging, and premature death. The projection of these repressed feelings results in the social problems, disorders, and the increase of selfishness and callousness characteristic of our present society. Most of all, the effect is the inability to truly love and trust another person, which results in emotional isolation and self-hatred. In contrast to the above, what happens instead when we let go of a feeling? The energy behind the feeling is instantly surrendered, and the net effect is decompression. The accumulated pressure begins to decrease as we constantly let go. Everyone knows that when we let go, we immediately feel better. The body's physiology changes. There are detectable improvements in skin color, breathing, pulse, blood pressure, muscle tension, gastrointestinal function, and blood chemistries. In the state of inner freedom, all bodily functions and organs move in the general direction of normalcy and health. There is an immediate increase in muscle power. Vision improves, and our perception of the world and ourselves changes for the better. We feel happier, more loving, and more easygoing. Feelings and stress. There is much attention and publicity given to the subject of stress without a real understanding of its essential nature. It is said that we are more stress-prone than ever. What is the essential cause of stress? Certainly, it is not the external precipitating factors. They are merely examples of the mechanism we described as projection. It is they, or it, that is thought to be the culprit, when in fact, what we are feeling is merely the letting out of the inner pressure of repressed emotions. It is these repressed feelings that make us vulnerable to external stress. The real source of stress is actually internal. It is not external, as people would like to believe. The readiness to react with fear, for instance, depends on how much fear is already present within to be triggered by a stimulus. The more fear we have on the inside, the more our perception of the world is changed to a fearful, guarded expectancy. To the fearful person, this world is a terrifying place. To the angry person, this world is a chaos of frustration and vexation. To the guilty person, it is a world of temptation and sin, which they see everywhere. What we are holding inside colors our world. If we let go of guilt, we will see innocence. However, a guilt-ridden person will see only evil. The basic rule is that we focus on what we have repressed. Stress results from the accumulated pressure of our repressed and suppressed feelings. The pressure seeks relief, and so external events only trigger what we have been holding down, both consciously and unconsciously. The energy of our blocked-off feelings reemerges through our autonomic nervous system and causes pathological changes leading to disease processes. A negative feeling instantly causes a loss of 50% of the body's muscle strength and also narrows our vision, both physically and mentally. Stress is our emotional reaction to a precipitating factor or stimulus. Stress is determined by our belief systems and their associated emotional pressures. It is not the external stimulus, then, that is the cause of stress, but our degree of reactivity. The more surrendered we are, the less prone we are to stress. The damage caused by stress is merely the result of our own emotions. The effectiveness of letting go and reducing the body's response to stress has been demonstrated in scientific studies. Many stress reduction programs offered today often miss the essential point. They try to relieve the after effects of stress rather than remove the cause of the stress itself, or they concentrate on external events. This is like trying to reduce the fever without correcting the infection. For instance, muscle tension is the aftermath of anxiety, fear, anger, and guilt. A course in the techniques of muscle relaxation is going to be of very limited benefit. It would be far more effective, instead, to remove the source of the underlying tension. which is the repressed and suppressed anger, fear, guilt, or other negative feelings. Life events and emotions. The rationalizing mind prefers to keep the true causes of emotion out of awareness and utilizes the mechanism of projection to do this. It blames events or other people for causing a feeling and views itself as the helpless, innocent victim of external causes. They made me angry. He got me upset. It scared me. World events are the cause of my anxiety. Actually, it's the exact opposite. The suppressed and repressed feelings seek an outlet and utilize the events as triggers and excuses to vent themselves. We are like pressure cookers, ready to release steam when the opportunity arises. Our triggers are set and ready to go off. In psychiatry, this mechanism is called displacement. It is because we are angry that events make us angry. If through constant surrendering we have let go of the pent-up store of anger, it is very difficult, and in fact, even impossible for anyone or any situation to make us angry. The same, therefore, goes for all other negative feelings once they have been surrendered. Because of social conditioning in our society, people even suppress and repress their positive feelings. Suppressed love results in the broken heart of the heart attack. Suppressed love reemerges as excessive adoration of pets and various forms of idolatry. True love is free of fear and characterized by non-attachment. Fear of loss energizes undue attachment and possessiveness. For example, the man who is insecure about his girlfriend is very jealous. When the pressure of suppressed and repressed feelings exceeds the individual's tolerance level, the mind will create an event out there upon which to vent and displace itself. Thus, the person with a lot of repressed grief will unconsciously create sad events in life. The fearful person precipitates frightening experiences. The angry person becomes surrounded by infuriating circumstances, and the prideful person is constantly being insulted. As Jesus Christ said, "Why do you see the splinter which is in your brother's eye, and do not feel the beam which is in your own eye?" Matthew 7:3. All the great masters point us within. Everything in the universe emits a vibration. The higher the vibration, the more power it has. Emotions also, because they are energy, emit vibrations. These emotional vibrations impact the body's energy fields and reveal effects that can be seen, felt, and measured. Motion pictures using Kirlian photography, such as those done by Dr. Thelma Moss, show rapid fluctuations of the color and size of the energy field with changes of emotions. Krippner, 1974. The energy field has traditionally been called an aura and can be seen by people who have been born with or learned the ability to see vibrations of that frequency. The aura changes color and size with emotions. Muscle testing also demonstrates the energy changes that accompany emotions. As our body's muscles instantly respond to positive and negative stimuli. Thus, our basic emotional states transmit themselves to the universe. The mind has no dimensions or size and is not limited in space. Therefore, the mind transmits its basic state via vibrational energy over an unlimited distance. This means that we routinely and unwittingly affect others by our emotional state and thoughts. Emotional patterns and their associated thought forms, for instance, can be picked up and received consciously by psychics at a great distance. This can be demonstrated experimentally, and the scientific basis for this has been a subject of great interest in advanced quantum physics. Because emotions emit a vibrational energy field, they affect and determine the people who are in our lives. Life events become influenced by our repressed and suppressed emotions on the psychic level. Thus, anger attracts angry thoughts. The basic rule of the psychic universe is that like attracts like. Similarly, love promotes love, so that the person who has let go of a lot of inner negativity is surrounded by loving thoughts, loving events, loving people, and loving pets. This phenomenon explains many scriptural quotations and common sayings that have puzzled the intellect, such as, "The rich get richer and the poor get poorer," and "Those who have, get." As a general rule, therefore, people who are carrying the consciousness of apathy bring poverty circumstances into their lives, and those with a prosperity consciousness bring abundance into their lives. Because all living things are connected on vibrational energy levels, our basic emotional state is picked up and reacted to by all life forms around us. It is well known that animals can instantly read a person's basic emotional state. There are experiments demonstrating that even the growth of bacteria is affected by human emotions, and that plants register measurable reactions to our emotional state. Baxter, 2003. The mechanism of letting go. Letting go involves being aware of a feeling, letting it come up, staying with it, and letting it run its course, without wanting to make it different or do anything about it. It means simply to let the feeling be there and to focus on letting out the energy behind it. The first step is to allow yourself to have the feeling without resisting it, venting it, fearing it, condemning it, or moralizing about it. It means to drop judgment and to see that it is just a feeling. The technique is to be with the feeling and surrender all efforts to modify it in any way. Let go of wanting to resist the feeling. It is resistance that keeps the feeling going. When you give up resisting or trying to modify the feeling, it will shift to the next feeling and be accompanied by a lighter sensation. A feeling that is not resisted will disappear as the energy behind it dissipates. As you begin the process, you will notice that you have fear and guilt over having feelings. There will be resistance to feelings in general. To let feelings come up, it is easier to let go of the reaction to having the feelings in the first place. A fear of fear itself is a prime example of this. Let go of the fear or guilt that you have about the feeling first, and then get into the feeling itself. When letting go, ignore all thoughts. Focus on the feeling itself, not on the thoughts. Thoughts are endless and self-reinforcing, and they only breed more thoughts. Thoughts are merely rationalizations of the mind to try and explain the presence of the feeling. The real reason for the feeling is the accumulated pressure behind the feeling that is forcing it to come up in the moment. The thoughts or external events are only an excuse made up by the mind. As we become more familiar with letting go, it will be noticed that all negative feelings are associated with our basic fear related to survival, and that all feelings are merely survival programs that the mind believes are necessary. The letting go technique undoes the programs progressively. Through that process, the underlying motive behind the feelings becomes more and more apparent. To be surrendered means to have no strong emotion about a thing. It's okay if it happens, and it's okay if it doesn't. When we are free, there is a letting go of attachments. We can enjoy a thing, but we don't need it for our happiness. There is progressive diminishing of dependence on anything or anyone outside of ourselves. These principles are in accord with the basic teaching of the Buddha to avoid attachment to worldly phenomena, as well as the basic teaching of Jesus Christ to be in the world, but not of it. Sometimes we surrender a feeling, and we notice that it returns or continues. This is because there is more of it yet to be surrendered. We have stuffed these feelings all of our lives, and there can be a lot of energy pushed down that needs to come up and be acknowledged. When surrender occurs, there is an immediate lighter, happier feeling, almost like a high. By continuously letting go, it is possible to stay in that state of freedom. Feelings come and go, and eventually you realize that you are not your feelings, but that the real you is merely witnessing them. You stop identifying with them. The you that is observing and is aware of what is happening always stays the same. As you become more and more aware of the changeless witness within, you begin to identify with that level of consciousness. You become progressively, primarily, the witness rather than the experiencer of phenomena. You get closer and closer to the real self and begin to see that you had been duped by feelings all along. You thought that you were the victim of your feelings. Now you see that they are not the truth about yourself. They are merely created by the ego, that collector of programs which the mind has mistakenly believed are necessary for survival. The results of letting go are deceptively quick and subtle, but the effects are very powerful. Often we have let go, but think that we haven't. It will be our friends who make us aware of the change. One reason for this phenomenon is that when something is fully surrendered, it disappears from consciousness. Now, because we never think of it, we don't realize that it has gone. This is a common phenomenon among people who are growing in consciousness. We are not aware of all the coal that we have shoveled. We are always looking at the shovelful we are handling right now. We don't realize how much the pile has gone down. Often, our friends and family are the first ones to notice. To keep track of progress, many people keep a chart of their gains. This helps to overcome the resistance that usually takes the form, "This isn't working." It is common for people who have made enormous gains to claim, "It just isn't working." We have to remind ourselves sometimes what we were like before we started this process. Resistance to letting go. Letting go of negative feelings is the undoing of the ego, which will be resistant at every turn. This may result in skepticism about the technique, forgetting to surrender, a sudden upsurge of escapism, or venting feelings by expressing and acting out. The solution is simply to keep on letting go of the feelings you have about the whole process. Let the resistance be there, but don't resist the resistance. You are free. You don't have to let go. Nobody is forcing you. Look at the fear behind the resistance. What are you afraid of regarding this process? Are you willing to let go of that? Keep letting go of every fear as it arises, and the resistance will resolve. Let's not forget that we are letting go of all the programs that have made us a slave and a victim for a long time. These programs have blinded us to the truth of our real identity. The ego is losing ground and will try tricks and bluffs. Once we start letting go, its days are numbered and its power is diminishing. One of its tricks is to go unconscious about the technique itself. For instance, to decide suddenly that the mechanism of surrender isn't working. Things are still the same, it is confusing, and too hard to remember and do. This is a sign of real progress. It means that the ego knows we have a knife with which to cut ourselves free, and it is losing ground. The ego is not our friend. Like Master Control in Tron, 1982, it wants to keep us enslaved by its programs. Letting go is a natural ability. It is not something new or foreign. It is not an esoteric teaching or somebody else's idea or a belief system. We are merely utilizing our own inner nature to get freer and happier. When letting go, it's not helpful to think about the technique. It's better simply just to do it. Eventually, it will be seen that all thoughts are resistance. They are all images that the mind has made to prevent us from experiencing what actually is. When we have been letting go for a while and have begun experiencing what is really going on, we will laugh at our thoughts. Thoughts are fakes, absurd make-beliefs that obscure the truth. Pursuing thoughts can keep us occupied endlessly. We will discover one day that we are right where we started. Thoughts are like goldfish in a bowl. The real self is like the water. The real self is the space between the thoughts, or more exactly, the field of silent awareness underneath all thoughts. We have had the experience of being totally absorbed in what we were doing, when we scarcely noticed the passage of time. The mind was very quiet, and we were simply doing what we were doing without resistance or effort. We felt happy, maybe humming to ourselves. We functioned without stress. We were very relaxed, although busy. We suddenly realized that we never needed all those thoughts after all. Thoughts are like bait to a fish. If we bite at them, we get caught. It's best not to bite at the thoughts. We don't need them. Inside of us, but out of awareness, is the truth that I already know everything I need to know. This happens automatically. Paradoxically, one resistance to surrendering is due to the effectiveness of the technique. What happens is that we keep letting go when life is not going too well, and we are beset by unpleasant emotions. As we finally surrender our way out of it, and all is well, then we stop letting go. This is a mistake because, as good as we may feel, there is usually more to it. Take advantage of the higher states and the momentum of letting go. Keep on going, because it will get better and better all the time. Letting go gains a certain momentum. It is easy to keep it going once it is started. The higher we feel, the easier it is to let go. That's a good time to reach down and let go of some things, suppressed and repressed garbage, that we wouldn't want to tackle if we were in the dumps. There is always a feeling to be let up and surrendered. When we are feeling good, the emotions are merely subtler. Sometimes you will feel stuck with a particular feeling. Simply surrender to the feeling of being stuck. Just let it be there and don't resist it. If it doesn't disappear, see if you can let go of the feeling in bits and pieces. Another block that may occur is the fear that if we let go of a desire for something, we won't get it. It is often beneficial to look at some commonly held beliefs and let go of them right in the beginning, such as 1. We only deserve things through hard work, struggle, sacrifice, and effort. 2. Suffering is beneficial and good for us. 3. We don't get anything for nothing. 4. Things that are very simple aren't worth much. Letting go of some of these psychological barriers to the technique itself will allow an enjoyment of its effortlessness and ease.
That is chapter 2. See what y'all have to say. Good now, Neek. Let me grab you. Justin says, we know everything that we need to know, but we constantly get trapped. Then the world reinforces those things to keep you stuck, to keep you in it, in that state of mind. This topic in particular I like a lot because suffer grind and the algorithm will constantly show you this. This thingy. Caitlin says, the higher we go, that reminds me of Michelle Obama's Go High thing, where we can embody and feel the negative, like rage and anger and that, but we need to go high with it and use it towards something good. She explained it way better to me. Awesome. There was another statement he said, be a part of the world. Yep. Yeah, that's from the Bible, Justin. Be of the world, not in it. Or be in the world, not of it. What is it? In the world? Yeah. He said it. I know. I remember that verse from back in the day. In TM, or just even in my consciousness program, it talks about how attachment is not something, you know how you try to keep yourself from being attached to something? It's not something that you do. It's something that just naturally happens through natural mechanisms. Yeah, in the world, not of it. Thank you. So you don't have to force detachment. It just happens naturally. And he explained it. And this is pretty much what happens with TM, honestly, with transcendental meditation. It just happens at the root level. What do y'all think about the what did he say? The major ways that we handle feelings these days: suppression and repression, expression and escape. Caitlin says, I'm sitting here thinking of how far I've come and how non-attached I've become, but try to tell me I can't play with my yarn or thinking of having to live without it. Yikes. Baby steps. And there's no having to. If that happens, it's because you naturally just let it go. Escapism was the one that stood out to you. What stood out about that, Justin? And is anyone feeling any resistance to the process of letting go at all? He basically just I'm amazed because this stuff is a lot of what we talk about in my master's program, and I read this book well over 10 years ago, and I didn't understand it to the degree I do now. To anyone else, and welcome to those who just joined. We just read or listened to chapter 2 of Letting Go, The Path to Surrender by Dr. David R. Hawkins. This is being recorded, so if you did not catch the beginning of it, you are welcome to catch the replay after we are done here. It will be on the tube. Look for Antara Mastery, Inner Mastery. Nope, this Caitlin is good, but trying to tell Caitlin from a few years ago or maybe even some months ago would be like, nah. Nuh-uh. When I was younger, I used to use video games as escapism, but there was a community of people online I played with. But at the same time, that didn't reflect real life, and it was a lot of time wasted on those days. So the difference between doing those activities that he mentioned, there's a difference between doing them consciously and doing them because you need to, like, because we don't consciously say, I need to get away from these feelings. You just tend to fill your time doing activities so that you don't have to deal with the feelings. But it's typically not a conscious thing. Sometimes it can be, but most of the time it's not. Caitlin says, I would have held that and been like, this is how we are. Debbie Downer over here in my past life. Me too, Caitlin. I was not the most positive person. It took some cultivating. Katie says, really appreciate the list of 4 or 5 ideas at the end of the section. Includes ideas that just because something comes easily doesn't lessen its importance or value. I literally wrote something about that on the stack. struggle is not a prerequisite. And I did a post on that many years ago. It's like, struggle doesn't have to be real. Because, people say it all the time. Struggle is real. It's like, does it have to be, though? I love it, Katie. April says, the part about continuously letting go, especially when a high vibe state sounds like shadow work. Consciously letting go. Yeah. Yeah, if you've ever, big lesson for you. I love it, Katie. Good. Yeah, when you're feeling good, you don't really want to deal with the lower things. It's kind of hard for them to come up too, but it's definitely easier to address them when you're in a higher state of consciousness. That part about the effect of external stressors having to do with internal state was articulated so well. Yes, it was, Kath. It was. This is, if you ever heard me say, your organs will thank you for not getting angry or not letting it like explode like that. Your organs will thank you for it. And like I wrote earlier, I didn't remember where I got the concept, but this book, I think it had to be this book. So road rage, you're not really mad at that driver. It's something that is down within that hadn't been processed. So when I find myself getting mad at seemingly nothing, I first think, I'm like, what have I not processed? So that you can do it consciously. I think people gravitate toward the struggle because it's almost romanticized. Yeah. It is. I don't know who programmed that into a lot of us, but it's time to undo that one. Effortlessness. I was watching one of our lecture videos. Maharishi was like, the whole purpose of life is least effort and still get a lot done. Shows, movies, yeah. For me, it was my upbringing. Struggle, hard work, joy is fleeting or will be taken away. So much to release. This would be so good for you, KD. Yes. Struggle doesn't have to be real. We don't have to effort so hard. Like, there's a difference between efforting and forcing, basically. Like when he's talking about efforting, because we're going to have to do something, right? You're not going to just sit back and things will just start happening. But when you're trying to force things to happen, that's the effortfulness. Cass says, sometimes I struggle when other people say to me, why aren't you more mad about XYZ? What's the struggle about that, Kath? Because they're just projecting. They're like, if it was me, I would be blah, blah, blah. And they just can't fathom. So that's kind of an opportunity to teach or also just let them go. They probably wish they could be more like that. Like, why do I have to get so mad about things? Because that's a lot of pressure on the body. But does it make you feel guilty or like you're supposed to be mad, Kath? Like, what comes up for you with that? Like, I feel guilty because I'm not more externally upset about things going on in our country. Yeah. You're not, and I don't, it's like you're not condoning it. You're just not letting it overcome you, right? It's okay. I need to give myself a freaking break. Oh my goodness, y'all, I've done enough and I'm an amazing creative and natural, sincere worker. Heck yeah. They look for your perspective on it. Yep. During this replay, I kept finding myself with tensed up shoulders, definitely holding. On what part, Rhonda and Kath? I get that. Just remember that where you are in your consciousness, like, I don't want to say like above or whatever, but when you have when you're in a higher state of being, you have more perspective, more perception than someone who is not in that energy state, right? So they can't even fathom why you're not reacting or responding the way they are, because they can't even attain that at that moment. So they are learning, they're watching, they're seeing, and they won't understand. I remember before I started my journey, and I was like, what? How are people happy? Because I was miserable. I was so sad and depressed. But I couldn't fathom, like, how. I just knew I didn't want to be where I was. And so I started the walk. But good now, Sister Sunshine. The whole read, addition, escapism. What's up, Rhonda, with that? Says Katie. Cass says, I try to focus on what I can do to help. Exactly. Working with kids every day to understand their own feelings. Yes, Kath. I just want to invite you to, when you start to feel guilty, just sit with it and just practice this letting go method. And at some point, and also just kind of like what he says, if you do feel guilty, it's most likely something that is deeper, that you had guilt that hadn't been released. So that is your opportunity. That's the guilt that's actually coming up more than likely. And so when you sit with it, the next time someone has that comment to you, the guilt would be less because you've processed some of it. Justin says, the sun will rise again tomorrow. So for me, it's like, it's not so much that not caring, but that I can only control the things that are in my life. Trying to put the whole world on your shoulders when my world is already a mess just is too much. Yeah, I get that. Oh my goodness, yes. People that were lighthearted and seemingly carefree and so positive made me sick. I'm like, how? Must be their anger. Time to let it go. Yes, Rhonda, let it go. And it's not an effort letting go. It's literally just sitting with what's coming up. And like he said, not judging how you're feeling about what's coming up. Just noticing. Just noticing. And sitting with it. As uncomfortable as it may be in that moment, sitting with it. Or crying with it. Whatever happens during that processing, there's no judging, there's no thinking about it, there's just allowing and just letting it be. Helen says, I really don't know what to do or think. I am housebound and alone in recovery from illness and its treatment. I have had one visitor in the last 18 months who stayed for just 10 minutes. The last time my friend had a phone conversation with me was July, and she told me she appreciated my support, but she has her own friends. She doesn't need me. And last night, the only two people who were texting me once every 6 weeks both told me they don't want to communicate with me anymore. There literally is no one else to let go of. I don't know what lesson on letting go I'm supposed to be learning, but I just feel crushed. Oh, Helen, dear. I think that's where you start. That was you on Thursday, Katie. And I'm sorry that you're dealing with that, Helen. That is not an easy place to be. And this, Helen, Rhonda's sending you hugs. This is an opportunity, and it's not an easy one. It's an opportunity to look within and see what energy is being put out. If there's any feelings of being a victim or self-hate or self-guilt or anything that's low energy, look within without judgment and allow those feelings to just be there and release. Because energy, if you were to run down the street, at some point you would get tired. That's energy. Emotions are also energy. They eventually run out. And I've used the example before because I've experienced it. If you've ever cried and cried and cried and then all of a sudden it just stopped, like you didn't make it stop, you just allowed it to stop. Well, you didn't allow it, just happened. It's because it just ran out of energy at that time. So when you feel your emotions and and it's scary to feel them because you don't know what's going to happen on the other side, just remember at some point they're going to run out and it'll stop when your body's done with that moment. It doesn't mean that's there may be some other layers that come up at another time, but at that point your body was strong enough to hold it and release it. Thank you all for loving on Helen. But Helen, this is not easy to face yourself, but it's worth it. It takes being honest with yourself and really looking at yourself. It's like, how am I showing up? And I get recovering from just recovering in general is already taxing on the body and the mind. Um, so it does not make it easier to have a positive outlook on things. Um, so the invitation is little by little what you can let go of that is that adds weight to you. Do that. I believe, and I've seen this in my own life, as you do that, you will start to, like, people will come out of nowhere. Even people that have stopped messaging you, it's like an energetic strangle when you're not in your best state of energy. People will, it's unconscious because it's an energetic thing. They will distance themselves, and then when you raise, they will appear again. So just love on yourself, give yourself grace. It's not an easy place to be that you're in right now. That loneliness is not easy. But as he mentioned in here, the more you let go, the less you'll look outside, and like that, it could still, you'll notice it, but it won't affect you the way it is right now. And also, you have all of us, even though we're not like right there, can visit you, but you got all of us anytime in the group. Just reach out. All right, what okay, I just like helping people and being kind. So I'm wondering if the universe is trying to protect from having chosen the wrong people, and the universe brought me to this space. Thank you for your kindness. It means so much to me. You're so welcome, and it's very, very, very possible. I love that perspective. That will help. That will definitely help. Something came to mind. It just popped out of my head. Yes, Katie. Katie says, "Be kind to you." And if you think about it, were those people who were in touch with you, were you kind of, did you like that they were reaching out because you felt lonely, or actually are those people that you would actually like to be around? It's possible that they are not the best energy to be around. Sister Sunshine says, recovery mode. I'm no longer sick, but I am still recovering. I need to be there now. You need to be where now? Recovered? Nature has its own timing. The tree, you can't force it to grow any faster. You can do things to help it grow, but you can't force it to grow any faster. Last year was a lot of recovering for me. Surgery, dislocated shoulder, still recovering from the broken toe. You can't rush it. You can do things to help it, but you can't rush it. Helen, allow yourself this. I'm allowed to heal. I am allowed to be tired. I'm allowed to rest. I am allowed to come back to my value. I love that, Katie. I'll grab this to put on our Lettuce Fam doc. If you allow me. I keep forgetting to ask y'all. Can I add this to the Lettuce Fam doc? Because it is a public doc. Karen says, hi, Helen, you're not alone. Same thing going on with me, too. Let go to let God. My first time here. Thanks for helping me to realize I'm not alone, Helen. I'm glad you're here, Karen. And I'm glad Helen's testimony, and thank you, Helen, also for being vulnerable and sharing and knowing that you can. Because look what you did. You said you like helping people. Look what you did. You didn't even, and that's the beauty of being who you are, being authentic. You accidentally on purposely help people. Robin says, giant group hug, Helen, and Karen too. Rainbow says, oh my, I missed it. What chapters did you read? Please, I'll catch up before next week. We just read chapter 2. That's it. And then of course it's recorded, so you've got that as well. I need to accept the recovery mode. Yes, Sister Sunshine. Yes. I hadn't called it that before. I love it. There were only ones left, and I kept having to ask them. I humiliated myself. Well, I hope you have forgiven yourself and love on yourself extra much. And we're glad you're here. The beauty of authenticity matters so much. Yeah, man. It's left less taxing on the mind, less taxing on the heart and the body. He said, remember he said earlier how, like, at one time, at some point, like, if you're mad and you realize how absurd it is and you just start laughing. Y'all have seen me laugh at myself so hard, where in the past that would be embarrassing and I would, like, want to not come live again. Now I'm like, that's hilarious. That's hilarious, Nick. Oh, will you be putting the recording of the session on your teacher profile? It's on the tube of you. You can catch it on there. I thought about but this is a long book, so yeah, you're welcome. Both chapter 1 from last week is there, and as is this will be there. So as soon as we're done, it'll be live and posted. Yes, what squirrels? Did I squirrel away from something? Was I saying something and interrupted myself? Because I do that all the time. I'm embarrassed telling you all this and taking up your space, but I'm also very grateful. I am so glad that you chose courage and chose you. So thank you. Don't be embarrassed. Clearly, some of us have gone through the same, right? Karen shared that she understands because she's going through something very similar. So you, my dear, are not alone. But I get it too. Some situations like, why am I getting heated? Yeah. It's like, what about this situation is creating this type of energy to come through me? That's what I ask. Because why questions, it's too hard to answer why questions because it's usually an irrational thing, right? So, that's why it's more beneficial to say, what about this situation is causing this? You can kind of get to the root of it more easily. Yeah. What other thoughts? Anything else? You're going through a similar thing with being alone as a soul caretaker. I bet. That ain't easy either, Rhonda. Soul caretaker, and you deal with a difficult age of students. They're like newly teenagers, right? What age group are you working with again? Or are they preteens? I can't remember. 14 and 18. Got it. Yep. New teenagers, and then teenagers who think they know everything because they think they're an adult at 18. I probably should have let go of them a long time ago. Helen, timing is always perfect, even if it doesn't feel like it. At that time, you weren't ready, and it's okay. There's a lot of things that a lot of people have not let go of when they should have, and I don't even know how you judge that, right? Like, where does it say at this time? Like, until you create that for yourself, until you like, oh, that's a flag. Let me see if it shows again. Yep, I'm out. But that's not something that's usually taught either. You kind of learn that through trial and error, right? So I would offer release the shoulds, because I don't know how you judge that, and you never know. Can't predict the future. Caitlin says, oh guys, my card today from the Earth Alchemy Oracle is Pink Chalcedony, and she comes to invite us to go deeper into feelings that you think are black and white in meaning, and to see that there are in-between colors, subtle energies existing at a different bandwidth and frequency. Your thoughts, situations, and relationships need to be viewed with love. Paint love where there may be none. Love you all. I love that, Caitlin. How perfect. Robin says, Helen, now your time to treasure your kind self. Yes. Yes, yes. I love it. I'm glad you're here, Helen. And Karen, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad all of y'all are here. Ooh, I know that puppy. Jane. Oh, the animal ones get me the quickest. Good now to those I have not had the opportunity to say good now to. Randy. Who else has popped in? Matt. Who else has popped in? Melinda. I wish the names would show like in the near the bubble, but it's all good. I don't mind clicking. I just don't want it to be all loud in your ear. April, did I say good now to you? I don't think I did yet. Good now, Lynn. Good now, Bruce. Late, but just in time. I was gonna say. Good now, Rihanna. Hopefully I said your name correctly. If not, please forgive me and please correct me. Bine sequai. It takes me a minute. Bine sequai. It takes me a minute, and I'm so glad you have the phonetic, because I would have forgotten how to pronounce each section. Good now, Stephanie. Good now, Paul. Joellen. Good now, love. It's very frustrating, especially when you put expectations on others. I realized that I'm at fault for putting those expectations and expecting more. Just expecting in general. Like, and I don't want to say fault, because blaming doesn't do any good either. It's just being aware. Oh, that's what I did? That was not helpful to that relationship or to my me. So I would offer maybe not say fault, but just say, that wasn't helpful. Maybe I will shift that. Joellen says, good now, joined late, but got the book and read chapter 2. Awesome sauce. Do you have any thoughts, comments you want to share about that? Helen says, thank you, Katie. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Caitlin, from Helen. Oh, I missed Katie's comment. Helen, yes, it feels so frustrating. Truth, it's happening now. Walk into this new place, my dear. I get it. Compassion for you will help. I love it, KD. So true. Also, he did list thing in chapter 2 that was hilarious. Which part? Yeah, he did list a... I don't remember what it was. The escapism part? Oh, yeah. Y'all are gonna really like chapter 3 too. I'm like, I low-key just want to read a chapter every night, but it would be a lot. Escapism. I'm like, dang, I can't read now. Tron reference, you like that, Caitlin? I figured that. Oh, yeah. The constant frantic activities, the endless socializing, talking, texting, reading, music playing, working, traveling, sightseeing, shopping, overeating, gambling, movie going, pill taking, drug using, and cocktail partying. That can be intentional or can be escapism. Yeah. I enjoy reading. I'm sure. You can read. It's not a thing. It's not escaping. If you find yourself feeling some type of way and then you pick up a book, that's escapism, as opposed to allowing that feeling to just move through. Now, if you're just like, la la la, great day, I want to read, that's good. That's helpful. But if you're like, or whatever, you know what I'm saying. For me, it's inspiration and hopefully fill the gaps. I figured. Feel. I mean, you can feel the gaps too. Feel. Honestly, sometimes when I say feel, I sound like I'm saying feel, so they're very. They sound the same when I say it. Just like let us and let us. Any other comments, concerns, thoughts? This book is a primer for me for working on issues with attachment. Yay! I'm also a healthcare worker, so it's helping me recognize how and why people can trigger my emotions negatively. I love it, Joellen. Yes, yes, yes. That's why I brought this book out. I kept talking about it so much. Like, anytime I would reference it, again, it's been a good 10 years or so since I read it, and I continued to reference things from it. And there were things that I was doing that I learned it and didn't even realize. So I was like, this would be a good book to bring to you all. Yeah, I see it, right? Justin says, yeah, I see the references. And I couldn't remember where I learned it, but now I'm reading it again with y'all, and I'm like, oh, that's where I got that from. It's been helpful over the years. Thank you for the hearts, by the way. So grateful. Let's see if there we go. Awesome book. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. I hope it helps. I know it will. Even if you get just one thing from the book, it'll help. It'll start, it's the seed planted, and it'll start, and once energy starts moving, it's going to keep moving. So, because it won't, what is it? What's the thing? It won't stop. It'll just, I can't remember. Brain is not braining on that part. Because energy doesn't die, right? I can't remember how it's said. Does anybody know the... Yes, there it is. It's the law of conservation of energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transformed from one form to another, is kind of what I was thinking. Newtonian physics. Thank you. Thank you, Lynn. Y'all knew what I was trying to say. I love it. This book is right on time in our larger collective context now. That was my other thought, Katie. I'm so glad. Thank you. I'm glad. I think so too, because it's some really difficult times, heavy times, just what we're witnessing happening, right? So thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. Vicky, this car, come on now. I know it's really tiny on the phone. Y'all can't see Vicky's car, but oh my goodness. I love it. Oh my goodness. For me, it's just underlying fear to dive into social activities. But I also think my confidence has grown more because I can jump in and be embarrassed but not let it bother me. That is beautiful, Justin. That was something I didn't have to. I chose to learn to do as well. And actually, it wasn't even something that I chose to learn. It's just something that came as a result of the work I've been doing, really. Justin, you're a wonderful human. Rock on, my dear. I love it. Yeah, man. He is a wonderful young old man. Anything else stood out? Is there any resistance that you want to address with any of this? Do we need to do some energy work? Let me know. If not, I can just leave you to processing all that just took place. And of course, I do have a group here on Insight Timer. You're welcome to join. So if anything comes up between this Saturday and next, feel free to hop into the group and just share. It could be something you're celebrating or something you have a challenge with. I'm always checking the group because I always post in there every morning after meditation anyway. So the anger. Please write the title in the chat. It's also on the screen. Can you see it? The path, letting go, the pathway to surrender. I always say to surrender. That's the title. Rhonda, the anger piece. Oh, thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. I appreciate the donation. Thank you. Rhonda, I want to talk to you about that offline. Sitting with your emotions, not running away from them, not judging them. Although I don't like saying not. So accepting them, noticing them, becoming aware of them with love, grace, and compassion is the way you work through this without it taking you out and feeling overwhelming. And this is just bringing to your awareness that you can actually do that. It was not something that was on my radar until I read this book. I mean, I've read a lot of good books before I got to this one, but this one really opened my eyes to that piece of the healing process. How are y'all feeling? What are you thinking? My ego inner critic is shouting about being needy, and I have to learn to let go of that being so bad. My dear Helen, I love that you have brought that into your awareness now. I would offer saying, I'm choosing to let that go. And remember, he said, don't think about letting it go, just do it. So as you're, and what did he say about not tuning into that radio station? How did he say it? I like the way he said it. Where was that? Oh, this is one of the parts. Feelings come and go. Eventually you realize that you are not your feelings, but that the real you is merely witnessing them. You stop identifying with them. The you that is observing and is aware of what is happening always stays the same. As you become more and more aware of the changeless witness within, you begin to identify with that level of consciousness. You become progressively primarily the witness rather than experiencer of phenomena. That's one part of it. And then here's the resistance part. Letting go of the feelings you have about the whole process. I'm trying to see where he was talking about when your ego will start messing with your head and doing that, what Helen just mentioned. Okay, the ego is losing ground and will try tricks and bluffs. Once you start letting go, its days are numbered and its power is diminishing. One of the tricks is for it to go unconscious about the technique itself. For instance, to decide suddenly that the mechanism of surrender isn't working, things are still the same. It is confusing and too hard to remember to do. This is a sign of real progress. It means that the ego knows that we have a knife and we're going to cut it, but that's still not the part I was looking for. Afraid it will definitely take me out, so yes, let's talk offline. Yep, I got you. When I find it, Helen, because I don't want to hold y'all up, I will put it in a group for you. Just so you can remind yourself of it anytime your ego tries to take you away from it. Okay, Justin says, I do want to say this to everyone here. I do wish the world was more like this. Katie and Helen, I know it's not easy to open up. It takes a ton of bravery to be that vulnerable, and I usually run from being that vulnerable. You both brave and wonderful people to open up about it, and that includes everyone here. The chat moved up. As well as this introspective is incredible. I love it. I'm glad, Justin, that you're enjoying this. Helen says, thank you, Justin, for your words. I really appreciate you. I'm worried I just hijacked. That's your ego, Helen. Don't listen to that. How many times have you been in a space with me where like someone is really struggling and like the conversation we all like pour into that person? That's what we're here for. That's why I am holding this space. So I would invite you to tell that voice that it's okay and that you love it. It is okay to share. Yep. It is okay to share. That is what we're here for. That's why I brought this book here, to let that stuff process out in a safe space. It can kind of be hard to do this alone if you don't have all the tools just yet. So those hearts are for you, Helen. Hearts to Helen, hearts to Karen, hearts to all of you. I'm so proud of y'all for showing up for you. This ain't easy work, y'all. It's not easy work. Looking at yourself and taking responsibility for yourself and your reactions to things and your feelings, and it's not easy. The ego hates it so much. But also the ego likes it, because remember in the chapter 1 is like the ego likes the drama. The ego likes to feel like a victim. The ego likes to also feel superior and inferior. It's like it just depends on the kind of ego you have. So it kind of likes it, but also doesn't. So it's all good. Just enjoy being a witness to it. Once you pick up on it, the sooner, when it'll get quicker, you'll start to notice it. You can hyper celebrate that, but always celebrate awareness. Awareness is the first step to any kind of shift or change, or not change. Awareness could make you realize, oh, this is something I would like to continue. And awareness can also make you realize, oh, this is not helpful. I would like to shift this. And that will already put that in motion. Jules, good now, Jules. Stomach is growling. It's about that time for me. Appreciate everyone. Gotta finish cleaning. Thank you, Nicole. And Lettuce Familia. This was needed. I'm enjoying this book. Will you do other books in the future? Always. Whatever gets laid on my heart by source, it will. And there are definitely other books that I'm thinking about. But I'm not going to effort them. They'll be called out and I will know. So yes, but this one is a long one, so we're going to be here for a minute. Because the chapters, I think most chapters are at least 30 minutes in reading at regular speed. So go eat, enjoy your food. And if no one has any other questions, thoughts, comments, let me see, did I make the card for the next one? I don't think I did. I do want to share though that tomorrow I'll be live with Iswa. She's one of the teachers here on IT. So I brought my podcast, Tips Over Tea, over to this platform. It'll be once a month, so if you care to tune in, if it sounds like something you want to listen into, feel free to join us tomorrow. We'd love to have you. And there's other things coming up. Monday be day 3 of the Reflex Reset Challenge, helping you prepare for IT's challenge. That's at 5:30 p.m. on Monday. Oh, and then Monday I have an extended sit. If anyone's up 6 a.m. Eastern, normally we sit and do meditation 5:30 a.m. Eastern, 20 minutes. But the community has asked for a longer sit, so we're doing an hour on Monday starting at 6 a.m. We'd love to have you join. The easiest way to find all the things that you can get into is to just go to my teacher profile and click on events, and you'll see them listed. I'm always on here hanging out with you beautiful souls. So, and without further ado, oh, one other thing. That's not until May. May, I do have, if y'all have ever done a move and sit with me, I do it every month at the last, sometime within the last week of the month. So this month it will be February 27th. So we move, we do some ecstatic dance, 15 to 20 minutes, and then we sit for 30 minutes and meditate. And the purpose of it is, the movement is to release whatever you don't want to bring with you into the next month. And then the sit is to just meditate on what you do want to bring in the next month. So I'm having a one for 6 months, and it's going to be live here in this area on May 30th. So the point of this one is to release all the things from the previous 5 months for the first half of the year that you're like, I'm not bringing this into the second half of the year. So we'll move, ecstatic dance. There is no rhyme or reason to ecstatic dance. You're just letting the music move your body. And then we'll do a reflective guided journaling. I'll play the bowls, the sound bowls during that time, and then we'll do a 20-minute sit. So if you're in the area, or you have friends and you want to come visit, and then y'all both come, or all of y'all come, we still have spaces open because it's a newly listed event. So all my other 2 retreats are booked out. But yeah, just want to share a little bit of what's going on in case you're interested. But otherwise, if there are no further questions, comments on this amazing book, I'll bid you adieu. And may you all have thank you so much. Thank you very much, Nicole, and everyone. You're so welcome, Elena and Joellen. You're so, so, so welcome. My honor, my pleasure. I at the end of all my broadcasts, for lack of a better word, I always celebrate you for showing up for you, because in so doing, he even mentioned it, which made me smile even more. In so doing, you are showing up for the world. World peace starts within, and I can ask for nothing more. Jai Guru Dev. Victory to the greatness in you. Thank you, April. May you all create the most amazing now moments. Until I see you next time, make every moment count. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Big love. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Give yourself grace, compassion. You get a better response than anything else. You're so welcome. Peace be with you. Ciao for now. And thank you for those who watched on a different platform. I'm glad you joined us. Thank you for being here. And I will see you next time as well. Mwah.